ends. Like my father's come to pass, 7 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends. Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:32. It is September 30th. Guess what? I'm waking you up. September's ending. Anyway, third quarter is also ending. Hopefully everyone's feeling great. Everyone had their mind right. Everyone made good decisions, strong offense, strong early, strong life. That's what we try and do. We try and control. We can control. Markets move fast. The way you slow down the markets is by preparation. The way you make the right decisions and execute with confidence is by having multiple plans with multiple groups and multiple setups. And, and trust yourself to make those choices. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com, the founder of Red Dog Mindset. This is your 630 Club. This is September 30th, last day of the month, last day of the quarter. Seems like we're going to get a government shutdown, which really shouldn't matter much. All it is a lot of banter. But anyway, could create a tiny bit of volatility. We've seen nice action in the markets overall in lots of different sectors everywhere. Can't be upset about this tape, the way it's going. Yes, it's very specific, and some days are different, but all in all, if you look here, Thursday last week, you had the 21-day moving average. We came right in and held it. It got a little faulty here. Then from Thursday, a little bit of follow through Friday. We gapped open yesterday, so that's a 3-day move. You could have reduced some longs into that 3-day move. You could have put on a few hedges, and here we are today. So anyway, SPYs right now are down a little bit, $140, 662.20. This is yesterday's low, 661.86. I'll tell you, it'd be nice if we hold this. It'd be nice if we can go to some of the strong names from yesterday and buy them to go from red to green, create some cash flow around our existing swing trades. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes they mark them up and they have a little less commitment to them in the last day. And then you get some new flows and you figure it out. Let me say good morning to some of my dogs. What up, Blair? How you doing? Good morning, Glory B. What's up, Jose? Topher, Dash. What up, Richard Judge? Everybody, hopefully you're feeling good. I've already did my 25-20 with about 400 plus individuals who are part of Red Dog Mindset, who are working on themselves, making some choices. I just decided for October, no beer, no wine. No beer, no wine. No bread unless it's on a sandwich. No chips. Going to tighten it up a little bit in October, and I'm writing it down. The way you build self-esteem is by writing some things down and keeping promises to yourself. So if you feel like you've been eating and drinking a little bit too much in September through the summer and you want to make some choices, well, write them down. I'm also going to fast 1 day a week. Maybe not be Mondays, 1 day a week for all of October. Anyway, so with that being said, we'll see how today, no fries. And anyway, so here's this is a spot today. Do we hold this and digest and go sideways? That would make it a lot easier. Or do they shake the tree by breaking a little bit below yesterday's low, and then you have your next level here, which is 659.67, and then here's your 21-day. With the Qs real quickly, levels also. I'm not going to get fully into it, but here's your high. The low from yesterday is 597.41. Let's see where the Qs are right now. The Qs are 597. So, showing a tiny bit of relative strength, not even, again, above this spot. If it were to break the spot, then they could trigger little stops. Then you got to kind of see what's next. But we'll see. The rotation's been good. Lots of different sectors on the move, lots of different names. Everyone seems like they have all this idea. Joey says he needs to stop drinking too. I was going to do a dry October, but I feel like I want to be realistic. I'm going to go no beer, no wine, because I don't really like hard alcohol anyway. So with that said, let's go to some names. You know what? Tesla was a little annoying yesterday. I definitely agree. You know, it would have been much better if it would have, you know, went through 445 and held and closed at 460. Instead, it went above and didn't hold above. So you had to adjust your size. Well, what do I mean? Well, yesterday, if you remember, we were talking, can Tesla get through this area? Would Tesla give you another nice trade? You know, we had an awesome trade here from 357, you know, and then it wound up putting a peak in here at 444, held the 8-day, and then yesterday, you know, gave you a quick little move to 451, and you know, and then gave you a little bit of a topping tail, a little extended from the 8-day, so a little choppier. So for Tesla today, I am smaller than yesterday, so that's good. It's down a bunch. You know, can it hold 439 or not? If it doesn't hold 439, you know, there's room to the 8-day. Whereas Tesla right now, it's down 6. It's already below it. So, you know, it's below it. So the question is, does it reclaim it or not? This is, you know, it's down a little bit more than you would think, but we'll see. This is what? This is 427. No, 429. What's this low here? This low, 429. So, you know, if it doesn't hold 429, you know, it doesn't hold the 8-day, which has been support, then maybe something changes here. So again, you said Tesla needs some days. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, so that's a pretty big level right now. Whereas Tesla, like I said, is down 6, not the end of the world. You know, again, did it get above and stay above 444? No, it went above and went back below. So that was your adjustment on share size. The momentum wasn't there, wasn't strong enough. That's how you judge things. Anyway, you know, in other just real quick mag tech land, I still think Microsoft's all right. A lot of guys along Microsoft, but you can't add on strength. You know, you could be long versus this 506 area. No real traction. You know, the Mag 7 has just been harder. You know, there's been more action in other names. But anyway, so make sure this holds 506. Like I said before, Amazon, not good. Amazon broke this wedge to the downside. But you know what? Yesterday it felt like a little bit stickier. So, you know, maybe this goes red to green, but it's not a wedge break to the upside, get above 242. It's just a, hey, you know, kind of go up a little bit type of trade. Anyway, you know, the action yesterday was in crypto. Crypto was awesome. I do think crypto started its move between now and Thanksgiving. You know, if you want to hear it here first, it's September 30th. I do think crypto could be like 135,000 by Thanksgiving. If you look at the IBIT, you know, you have a little bit of a gap now to trade against. Right here, this low is, what is this low? 63.65. So last week, I told you guys on the 630 Club, and obviously the power plays, I was buying options in the IBIT. I was buying October options, mid-October, and November calls into weakness, which is not something I usually do, but I figured this would hold, which was like 107, 108, and it did. So yesterday into that move, I trimmed a little bit because it was a great move, and now I'll buy a little bit back. So where's IBIT this morning? IBIT is down 84 cents. So yeah, so I think you could buy that dip. You know, Ethereum down 36 cents. A lot of you guys like to trade this BMNR. It's down $1.29. So, you know, again, if you manage your positions the right way, you know, you don't mind that things are down a little bit because you could buy the dip because you sold some strength. You're in a rhythm. So BMNR, you look here, you know, it had a decent little move. So into weakness is when you want to buy options. You never want to buy options on a strong day because you're paying up and you're paying for the excitement. On a weekday or on a pullback day, if you think this move is going to continue and everyone's thinking this move's going back to 70 or it's at least getting above 64.25 on a day like today, is when you want to buy a little bit of options for a week or two out, something like that too. So with that being said, you know, today, if you bought a little bit into the 50-day and trimmed, you know, now you could buy some back. And that's how you manage your positions, and that's how you manage your size. Fanny says, Tesla's going to be 750 data AI value. Okay. JD, Tony says. All right, so the Chinese names have been pretty good. You know, JD's not been the best, but, yeah, look like this pattern looks to me a little bit better. I've been managing this pretty well with power plays. I started with JD here. So this has been a great, buy the dip, roll up your options play if you manage things. So right around here, I was buying the $33 calls. So from here, bought the $33 calls. I think I sold most into that move. And then on this little dip, I bought the $35 calls. And then into that, I sold most of those. Into this, I started buying the $37 calls. So that's what you call rolling up your options. So right now, let's see what the Chinese names are kind of doing. Let's go. JD is down 15 cents. Not a big deal. What's Baba doing? Up 2. What's Baidu doing? This group is still real strong. If you remember, I had Baba literally at 125. People made their entire year off of this stock. I had some good trades here. We had some good power plays, but didn't hyper focus. So anyway, JD's this. So in my humble opinion, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see a move in JD above 36 to 38. So you could still buy the 30. Like today's your day, probably. You go out and you buy some $36 or $37 calls out 2 weeks, and chances are you make some good money there. I like it. So Future Ready says we closed weak near the lows of the day. Semis wouldn't have reversed like they did yesterday. I went bullish. Yeah, they're just not ready for Nvidia to break out yet. So yeah, I understand. Nvidia basically got rejected a few times. That other AI news right here wasn't ready to take out 184.85, so it came in, held where it had to, came back up, wasn't ready again. So yeah, so this Bitcoin, I mean, Nvidia is just kind of building. I still think I would, if I were a betting man, it would be it'll break above 184.45 before it breaks below 173. I just don't know if it's going to be this week. I don't know if it's going to be next week. Overall, though, I would watch it. But I still think this looks pretty good. Pony and WRD were upgraded today. All right, Rocks, what up? Love on the rocks. Anyway, Neil Diamond, I'm dating myself. So Nvidia, I think still Nvidia looks really good and constructive. Like if I were you guys, like what I did is go out and then maybe not this Friday, the next Friday, and buy the 187.50 calls. Because if we get a close above 184.55, you're gonna blow on freaking Nvidia. It's gonna be 190 to 192 or something like that. Anyway, so I think it's something that's you don't want to over trade it because it's been choppy. If you bought strength a few times in Nvidia yesterday, you lost money. So if I were you, I would just buy some options, and then if it really shows you, then you go with it. Pony, a lot of people doing really ride that pony. Anyway, listen, this stock, I put it on a lot of people's radar, right? I think right around here, and I wasn't ready, and everyone was pissed off. Red dog. Anyway, right here is when you could go on Twitter, and I'm talking about day ones. I'm like, Pony just got going. You could be a buyer. I bought like $17 calls and then $22 calls. And PS, this nice little sequence happened. Really nice. So a name that no one really knew, Red Dog introduced to Pony AI was awesome. PS, it kind of just stalled right here. But so what was the last thing I said? I did buy some back on Friday, thinking accumulate versus 20 should see 30 plus in the months ahead. I think this is a $30+ stock in the months ahead. It's up to you on how you want to do it. I've had it on power plays. I've had it here, in the 630 club. A lot of people have made a lot of money in Pony. Anybody make money in Pony? Yes. Okay, that's cool. We have a government shutdown. Who cares, Ken? Friggin' this whole government noise shutdown. I hate Washington. But anyway, I'll tell you how I really feel a different time. Bottom line is anyone that doesn't go to work because they're shutting the government down, in like 3 weeks from now, they're going to probably get time and a half. They're going to get reimbursed. You're going to be home watching Netflix, and you're going to be worried about the government shutdown. Why don't you worry about your positions? Why don't you worry about your time frame? Worry about your size. Worry about it being the end of September so you get paid. Worry at the end of the quarter and turn the damn TV sets off. A bunch of noise. Anyway, with that being said, let's move on. MSOS, yes. Really nice move in the Cannabis group yesterday. So I do think this is buyable. I've played this a bunch of times. We had a really big move. Remember when I posted the picture of Mike Tyson, smoking on whatever he was smoking? Well, that was this move. I did sell most of it. I didn't buy it back here. I started buying yesterday. I do think we're going to get back towards 6 or more. It's kind of for real this time. But anyway, If it stays above 480, that would strengthen my case. What's up with Palantir? I don't know. What's up with Palantir? Is it up today? Is it down today? It's down $1.50. What do you mean? What's up with it? It's just futures are down 15 handles. Why can't Palantir be down $1.50? Palantir looks a little good, but it looks good though. That's a nice pattern right here. Palantir rebuilt. We talk about leading stocks that go through a rebuilding phase. Well, Palantir right now is looking pretty good. I think you can maybe even buy it. You could buy it this morning, right? As long as it holds 174-ish. So I always say what's your trade? Frame it out, because some people are like, oh, where do I put my stop? So if you think this is a bull flag, right in front of a prior high, showing relative strength, and the market's going to hold in there and take this out, well, you could be long versus 174. So that's one trade. So you're long versus 174, and then your next trade would be if it goes green, and the next trade would be it takes out 185 and continues. So there's a lot of different trades. But if it broke below 174, the framework of your thought and trade is off. So you got to stop yourself out. That's how you framework trades. Anyway, Rolando's accumulating Apple. I like Apple also. Apple's holding in there. You have a nice little bull flag here, holding above the 8-day, which is very strong. This is 251. I think it's starting to wear some people out, but you have to be realistic. Look at the size of the move it just had. And this is when it became, better and became a focus. So I would say you could still buy Apple. If it takes out 257, that's a different trade. Same thing we did with Palantir. So you could be long versus 251. That's one trade. You're in it versus a level. The next trade would be if some momentum comes in and it gets above and stays above 257 to work towards 260. Wolf. I love the Wolf. I've been buying the Wolf on every dip there is, and it still looks really good. I would think Wolf will be $16 to $18 by Thanksgiving, and it's not even 12. So if you want to, stay with this trade, you should join the VTF because we're buying dips and trading around it, and it's awesome. And by the way, if you're not a part of the Alpha team because you don't want to spend the money, it's too expensive, which it's not that bad, $100 a month or Red All Access, and you just tune into the 630 Club. What you should do is subscribe to Red Dog Mindset. It's $10 a month. $10 a month. You can do the 25-20 whiteboard weekends, maintain access to the 630 Club because at some point 630 Club is going to be gone. So if you've been watching it for free since 2020 and you're not part of T3, you better grandfather yourself in for 40 cents a day. This is, I think, $4.60 a day. How come iced coffees are different in Dunkin' Donuts and different? Like in Short Hills, this is $4.80. One town over, it's $4.20. But anyway, yep. What's jumping out? Oh, that's the other Wolf. That was crazy. I don't play things like that though. Yeah, like wow, look at that. That's like hitting the lotto, But again, how often do you hit the lotto? You don't. You can't base your career on hitting the lotto. I'd rather be slow and methodical and continue to trade Wolf and have it take out 1177 and go. Some people caught Dash yesterday. Dash, again, I talk about new names. I talk about things that you could stay with, trends and sequences. I've kind of been a little bit out of rhythm with Dash. But I told you guys about Dash at 144, saying this is a go-to list name. The stock's going to make new highs. Get to know it, get familiar with it, and you could probably change your life with it if you know how to go about it well. Well, anyway, Dash is on its ways back to highs. Do you remember this cup and handle pattern? You guys should love cup and handle patterns because cup and handle patterns, uncover huge accumulation winners. And right here is where I started to get really comfortable with you guys on the 630 Club, and it's been a really nice trade since. You could go back and look at archived videos about it when it was a 144. I'm like, guys, this thing's going to at least 225 to 250 or more, and now look where it is. But anyway, Surf Freedom says CELH looks good. Let's see, what does it look like? By the way, they were at the event I was at. I was at an event this weekend called Strong New York. It was awesome. A lot of like-minded individuals that, believe in fitness, believe in, becoming better versions of themselves. And it's up $1.80. There you go. This is how to move. This held this gap. I haven't been this active in a while. I was playing or trading this back here, but it looks pretty good. You guys want to see something real quick? Let's see. So let's go here for a second. So this is the public Twitter. Okay, right? So This is the subscribe button, by the way. If you ever want to subscribe there, you subscribe. Otherwise, you might lose the 630 Club. I want to show you this this cool event that I went to this weekend. It was called Strong New York with my guy Kenny Tucci. He's friggin' awesome. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here. Ready? This is my ice barrel. The weekend, they had classes, they had speakers, they had ice barrels on the roof. Um, they had presentations. I told you that they were going over like microdosing yesterday, which is I don't do it, but kind of crazy. Breath work. There's so many ways to get your mind right and become a better version of yourself so you can execute in trading. Yes, executing is all in the mind. If you're not thinking straight and you're not friggin' prepared, you're never going to execute with confidence. You're never going to see things go. You're never going to have your go time to figure it out. That's why I started this whole big thing because I've seen thousands of traders come and go, and you don't want to be one of those traders who come and goes. But anyway, every day I'm in my sauna, listening to music, talking about names, sectors, talking about life, figuring out what we have to do. Today, I put some promises out there: no beer, no wine, no bread, lunch on a sandwich, no chips, and no fries for all of October. If I break those rules and I can't be disciplined to myself, who the hell am I going to be disciplined to? Anyway, look at that monkey. So, with that said, don't monkey around. Take care of yourself and continue to make some progress. So, anyway, moving forward here, Celsius looks okay. QS, there's news. Is it good news? What's his face? Fibonacci. Oh, look at that. Oh, well, I don't want to, I have a lot of options and options. You can't sell anything until 9:30. Don't count your money, prior. But anyway, what's the news? That's not so bad. So let's see if QS can get above 14 or 15. This was from yesterday. QS had a big move for the community thanks to Fib and the Alpha team. It cleared 10 cents to C14. I did buy some calls into last week's dip, which I did, and I bought more yesterday. There could be another OEM deal. So anyway, we'll see if this holds up. I'm not going to get excited, but QuantumScape Corporation, a global leader in next gen. Let's see what everybody's saying here. All right, Kenneth. Kenneth, by the way, Kenneth had a Red Dog sandwich. He hustled. He came to Millburn, and we had a Red Dog sandwich together. All right, QuantumScape, a global leader in next generation solid state lithium battery. All right, well, who'd they go? Anyway, I'll read it later. No beer, no wine. Yep. Anyway, Corning for ceramic. All right, that's not the sickest news, but whatever. Something. We'll see how it goes. I wouldn't mind a freebie going into the end of the month, the end of the quarter. Freebies don't usually happen, but looked good technically. I'm also accumulating this UMAC. I told you guys this is Don Jr.'s drone company. I have a feeling they're going to be giving out some big drone deals in the next week or two. Technically, this looks pretty good, so I'm buying some options there. Little Kerps says you're going off to the sun as we speak. That's cool. You're a member of Red Dog Mindset. I love it. Yeah, you could watch it at 5:20, or you could watch it on demand, or you could look at the little shorties, or not. Or you could be a fat bastard. No kidding. You could do what you want. I didn't say that as a joke. Or you could take a pill. Go get a pill from Eli Lilly and not strengthen your mind, not control your emotions. Go take a pill, and maybe that'll help you get better in shape and control your mind. All right, Red Dog is getting a little out there. No, we won't do that anymore. Listen, man. You're an UMAC? Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. What else? Oh, so it's already 6:55. I got to get going. So this was Ethereum yesterday. I would think Ethereum holds 3381. So if you want to buy versus 3381, I feel like that's not a bad spot. It's down a little bit, not down a lot. A little bit. Pulled in a little, pulled in below. Yeah, I think it fills that gap. It's probably not going to be off the races for a little bit, but it's looking better. So here's look at everybody on the virtual trading floor having fun. Baby. All right. Listen, guys, got to have some fun in life. If you can't have fun in life, you know what? You're dead a long time. So appreciate, what you have. Have your gratitude. Take every day for what it is. Celebrate some small wins. Work on why you're not having them if you're not having them enough. And put put yourself through a little forced adversity. So when things happen, you know what, you know how to handle them, and you don't freaking, you know, crawl up into a little shell, and you deal with things. We got to deal with things in life, and how you deal with things that's who makes who you are. I appreciate you, my dogs. I'm going to go make 40 charts for the Alpha team. See you later.